Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let's talk about Palantir Technologies as we continue to see this correction within this individual AI stock. How this compares to the market and the immense amount of anticipated volatility that we could see with Palantir in the next few weeks, because we talk about this all the time. We got Q4 earnings coming up February 5th. There's going to be a lot of expectations, uncertainty, and volatility that could or will likely happen. Now, of course, if you are a new or a returning viewer, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. And what we specifically see with Palantir right now is this pullback that is continuing down about 3.35% today. Now, this does not include all the other AI stocks out there. We see NVIDIA that is continuing to explode, as you see here with an intraday high of 628, settling at 613. And in terms of the global markets, we see pretty much consolidation across the board, S&P 500 at 0.08%. So what's happening with Palantir Technologies? What we were testing, what we talked about in yesterday's video, was a $17 level of support. Unfortunately, Palantir was not able to hold that support, which I don't think is the end of the world because it has not established a lot of support in this area. Coming down here, Palantir gets into this interesting zone. This is the mid-16s. Reason it's interesting is because it also does not have a lot of trading history within this level. However, we could see reversals possibly, and as we continue on to look into the options volatility for end of week expirations, I see an immense amount of volume right here at the $18 strike price. This means in the short term, by the end of the week, that people are taking a bullish bet on Palantir, predicting a reversal. However, what happens if that does not happen? And what could we see in terms of anticipations? If Palantir continues to come down, what levels can we hope that Palantir grabs by? And in terms of volatility, could people getting in at more of an attractive price? Now, Investor Place comes out with this article here. Let's break it down, talking about standby and let Palantir stock drop more before rushing in. And they are referencing one of the biggest criticisms for Palantir, and that is their unsustainable valuation levels. Now, before we get too far, I already know what's coming. I already know it. The comments are going to say, you flip every way. You say that Palantir is, bullish. Now you come and bearish here, talking about its valuation. We need to accept reality. I am not a moon boy that will just tell you that everything's going to go up and up. We need to critically evaluate these different types of changes that we're seeing within the market and also address some of the concerns and risk that are associated with highly valued stocks. And Palantir is one of them. And what we see in terms of PLTR, a great company in terms of the long-term growth perspective, in my opinion, still, the question is the stock overhyped? And we do have a lot of trendiness behind PLTR, but what this specifically goes into is that being an income positive by only a few cents per share isn't a spectacular result when the Palantir stock is over $15. So talking about that, is this AI stock hype? Is it ahead of its reality? And in terms of the next earnings per share, 8 cents, earnings per share revisions, 16 in the bullish perspective in the last 90 days. This is great in terms of trying to hit those revenue metrics of 603 million. But however, looking at the price to the earnings and the forward earnings ratio and the valuation, if we look at the Seeking Alpha here for the price to earnings non-GAAP ratio, 82.52 gets an F. So we need to analyze this and say if there's any type of correction within the AI industry, what are the zones that Palantir could be looking at? Now, Palantir, Investor Place right here, says checking out at 13 would be a bullish area, and that would fit more with what the current earnings per share are sitting at. One thing about the 13, if we do see a possible correction in Palantir, is that it does have a lot of trading history within this zone right here. Between the 13s and the 16s, lots of consolidation right at the 15s. Now, this does not necessarily mean that Palantir is continuing to decline. No. This is just what investors are willing to pay for in the volatility that we're seeing in the short term. However, the actual potential behind Palantir, I would agree here with Motley Fool, is massive, especially as one of the biggest catalysts that we've highlighted in Palantir is its actual transformation and transition into the private sector via AIP. And having this AIP rollout, I think, will continue to be a success for the company in the next coming years. In talking about this and talking about optimism, what we've seen with different analysts that are saying here that Palantir could reach possibly a total annual revenue of $5 billion by 2027 is that we would have to see a higher compounded annual growth rate than what we are seeing right now. But that could be actually an option or opportunity if the AI mega market cap transition to these AI stocks continues to unfold like we have seen. And that is the speculative play that comes behind Palantir, is that we just don't truly know what kind of regulation is going to come behind this. In addition, what kind of competitors are going to come to the table? One thing that we do have, and that keeps me bullish about Palantir, is that they are a leading competitor already. And the amount of cash that they have on hand is substantial in order to invest into these new disruptive technologies, these new innovating technologies within itself, and developing some of the best products out there in terms of AI data analytics solutions. But in terms of the actual AI market cap globally, last year, the AI industry related sales were around 208 billion, and growth is expected to be about 43%. That's a large increase, pushing sales to nearly 300 billion, and talking about that with industry sales expected to hit almost 1.85 trillion by 2030. And if this plays true, and if we see these AI industry related sales, think of the market share and the buying pressure and momentum that will come into these AI stocks. And even the Seeking Alpha article here relates and talk about how Palantir does provide some of the most advanced and comprehensive AI solutions through its AIP platform. And like I said, we're seeing their earnings per share outperformance that it could continue. For 2023, they should report about 25% in earnings per share. And we also should see these growth earnings that are continuing over the next years, while this year's consensus is at 29 cents. Talking about this, we could see earnings per shares in about the 40 to 50 cent range in 2025. However, if Palantir continues to develop and smash these earnings, then it likely, and where it's sitting at right now, could trade at a higher valuation. What we're talking about here is the short-term correction or any type of fluctuations that we could see in a market, and a Palantir could come down to a very attractive price due to the AI hype and that valuation meeting a little bit of its reality. And with that, I still am a Palantir bull, even though it does have a crazy valuation. In terms of the actual productivity behind the company, I think the opportunity to get in there at a cheaper price, though, could present itself if everything and all the stars align in a single row. That's all that I have for you guys. Take care, peace out, and of course, do your own research before making an investment decision. Take care.